Hello, Libra. I'm Adriana, and for today's reading, we are asking the question, what is the rift between myself and my soul that is asking for my attention and healing right now? We're going to start with a couple, perhaps one major arcana card to look at the theme of what this message is, and then keep pulling cards for you. All right. All right, we've got the Tower. So Libra, what your soul would like you to realize is the foundation of many of your beliefs, the foundation of certain situations in your life have been built in a way that's just not sustainable. Maybe they were made out of wood instead of concrete, metaphorically speaking. So this is about being okay with certain aspects of life just kind of falling apart and seeming like they're being destroyed. This is I won't lie, this is a shocking energy. This is a big card to get, but this card also means that you're going to be having revelations that bring you into more of a spiritual alignment. It's card number 16 in most decks, which is a 7. So we're talking about the spiritual path, and we're talking about how sometimes on the spiritual path, when certain things don't hold up, they have to be destroyed. They have to fall down in order to be built again with newer, better, stronger, more authentic structures. So we'll get into the more specifics of what this energy really means and what areas of life you're going to be seeing that played out. But right now, Libra, this is calling on you to be very patient and very understanding with yourself, because just a lot of what you thought was bedrock is not. It's actually crumbly. It's like graham cracker crust, not bedrock. Okay, you can't stand firmly on it. So when you're in this kind of a month or this kind of energy, sometimes it just feels like you can't stand on anything anymore. So that's where the patience and just being okay with it being a little shaky right now comes into play. So what are the areas where Libra is going to be seeing the Tower the most? Okay. 2 of Cups, relationships. High Priestess, intuition. 2 and 2, 4 of Wands. So, God, you're getting everything. And High Priest. Okay. All right, what didn't come out in this spread? Okay. Now, interestingly, we have the High Priestess and the High Priest together, and we had the 2 of Cups. So we're really talking about dualities. We're also talking about partnerships, one-on-one understanding and opposites. And then the 4 of Wands would be that structure, or in the traditional deck, it talks about marriage and commitment and coming together. So we're seeing all of these supposed emotional structures being questioned, and ultimately those that cannot stand the test of time are being, okay, out we go, right? It's not pretty when they start to fall apart. It's very important to be connected with your intuition at this time, especially the two, the High Priestess. Your intuition has been giving you information and has been giving you knowledge about certain relationships, and you need to make sure that you're really listening to it and taking it seriously. I was just glanced at this card, and all of a sudden it feels like his hand. It's like I'm seeing his hand for the first time. It's coming out of the image almost. So you need to take this information in hand. He's holding onto a tree, so he's totally uprooted a tree. Funny here, because we've almost got trees right? With those poles, with those wands. So you need to take this information in hand. You need to take it seriously. And you really need to be aware of what that intuition is saying, because the high priest represents a new space, or if you want to call it a portal, but it's like sacred entry, the entry into sacred space. And which relationships are going to come into that sacred space with you? And the sacred space is where you are most yourself, where you are most aligned with your soul. You are most aligned with your higher self. It's everything that you consider precious and dear and special. Which relationships deserve to be in there? If they don't see you for who you are, or you have to compromise yourself, or there's any kinds of shadow behaviors like people pleasing or codependence, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, also just not taking a stand, those relationships will not come with you, because in order, she gets the information, but he actually implements it into a system or into a code of behavior. And they work together. So if you're only doing one or the other, you don't get the full picture. So your intuition is telling you which relationships need to come with you into this sacred space. Your intuition is telling you also which relationships need to stay outside of your sacred space. And Libra, if you have not been on the spiritual quest or the awakening journey very long, you may be also questioning your spirituality. That's what I feel with these two cards here, that you're saying, how could this be my path? Why is this my path? You know, I thought the spiritual path was going to be all positive and all everything, you know, blooming and being wonderful and connecting with this wonderful light and all this stuff. You know, at first maybe it was fun and the intuition just flowed, but then you're asked to make these hard choices. So you may be questioning that as well. Am I really on the right path if I have to put other people through so much pain? If I really have to put myself through so much pain? And the answer is yes. I'm sorry to be flippant about that, because it's not a laughing matter. It's just that, you know, it is a heavy question. And that's why we're in this period of almost shock right now. But the point, Libra, is that when one person rises, everyone else is given the chance and the choice to rise. And that's the best thing you can do for another soul. I was just talking with a friend this morning about how we're all on individual journeys, but we're in them together, you know? So you're born, you come into the world alone, you go out of the world alone, you die you're alone when you die. There's only you. But we have all these other people in our spaces mirroring who we are, teaching us other things. So you can't force other people to come with you. You right now are learning which relationships deserve to be in that special space with you, in that little house, that special little house with you, and which don't. And the ones that don't may be close relationships. And that is where some of this pain and hurt is coming from. Because not everyone, even if they're related to you, even if they're close to you, are equipped and willing to go the places that you may want to go. I'm going to get a little bit more information here. Okay, 4 of air, so you do need to spend some time alone. 6 of air, so that you can move on from this. 3 of air, and 7 of earth. Man, that was a lot of air. Part of the reason why you may be ignoring your intuition is that you just don't want to go through another betrayal. This is not a nice card. It is an energy of backstabbing, of criticizing, of tearing someone or cutting someone down. in order to gain power. And it's not comfortable to admit to yourself that you've been through that, because it's like, well, I just asked a dog to bite me. I just stuck my hand into a shredder. And you're in a process of healing from some of these types of relationships. Seven of Earth is talking about timing, that this is the right timing for your healing. And Six of Air and the Four of Air are interesting to me, because the Six of Air is like, I've got to move on. I know it's the right thing to do, but I really don't. I'm not enjoying this, and it's taking forever. But the Four of Air is saying, let's take a time out. Let's just step back from some of these relationships that are giving you grief and that are causing you to feel conflicted. Let's just step back and be on our own for a while, and take the time to reconnect with that inner voice that gives you guidance, that gives you more clarity about what your next steps are. I will go deeper into this card in the extended to pull out some questions that you can ask that may help you reconnect there. But I want to leave you with this idea that yes, this is a tough month of things falling down around you, but this is the gift where you have a chance to grow something new. And that's why you're asked to take some time out, to just be by yourself for a little bit. Make sure that you're making time for yourself, to listen to yourself and to check in with what it is that you really want, who you feel you are right now, and what the best choices are for you. I want to leave you with an oracle card. Again, I'm going to go deeper into this card to give you more information on how you can make sure you're hearing that inner guidance, make sure that you're hearing the right voice. But let's leave you with an oracle card. Okay, or two. Vulnerability and show your support. Kind of paradoxical. So vulnerability is exactly what we're talking about here. I'm feeling like I can't, I don't want to go out. I need to just cocoon myself. And that's true. Okay, you do need to you've gotten this message twice, that you need to just honor that you're feeling a bit raw, that you're feeling a little bit exposed. But then the show your support is when you do feel ready to go out. This is making sure that when you go out, you don't jump straight back into all of that emotional turmoil again with those relationships. Before you get back in there and you try to sort things out, do the small random acts of kindness. If someone else is struggling, just write them a little note or send them a little text or a little phone call that says, yeah, I know you're going through a rough time. Is there anything I can do? And, if doing some kind of charity work makes you feel good, that's something good to do. There's a minute where you're being asked to realign your energy before you jump back in to sorting out the emotional stuff, so that it's not so jarring between being alone and then trying to jump back into that quagmire. This is aligning yourself a little more positively first. I think paving the way to attract more support when you're ready to kind of separate yourself from some of those other relationships. All right, Libra, if you want to follow me over to the extended, the link is in the description below. And if not, thank you so much for joining me for this reading, and I'll see you again soon.